And in total, how many would you have at the club now?
Well, we've got 75 signed on this season. We had a few more last season, and we're recruiting, trying to get some youngsters in, as you can see as well, just so that there's a continuance of it.
And when you say youngsters, then what sort of an age range?
We don't turn anyone away. As you can see there, there's several that are under 8s. And we've got CP sessions have started the last 3 weeks. There's none here today because of the weather, but
CP?
we have cerebral palsy. And that's been another, we've had 4 or 5 come into that each week as well.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
What age do you go up to then?
Well, we've got a chap who will be here shortly, and he'll walk around with his ball, kicking his ball around, and he's 43.
Fantastic.
I'm proud to be a casual.
If you can tell us a bit about how you just became involved in the first instance with the casuals.
Yes, well, I had a son who was born with learning difficulties and autism, and he was football mad right from a very early age. But the school he went to first of all was a normal mainstream school, and I noticed that he was very excluded from the sport there. Lots of schools have this system where they get 2 of the pupils to pick out who they want to be in their teams. And of course, because the difficulties of my son became apparent very early on, he was always the one that was left over, that nobody wanted in their team. So I happened to see a notice saying they were thinking of starting up a football team simply for learning disabled people. And so I came along to the very first meeting, which wasn't here, it was in Oxford at the time, before it got transferred here. And we've been coming every single week since, and he absolutely loves it. It gave him a complete new lease of life, it's increased his confidence, his social skills, and now it's just a part of life. We just wouldn't think of going through a week without coming to see, to be part of the casuals. It's a very important part of his life.
Well, if you've been here over quite a long period of time, how have you seen the club grow in that time?
Well, it started off with sort of, I would say probably not more than about 10 or 11 people, and now we have over 80 on the books. It's grown and encompassed not just people with a learning disability. We now have people with Down syndrome, people with emotion and behavioural problems, people with mental health issues. People have also got physical disabilities as well as a learning disability. So it's come in leaps and bounds really, because it's just started to include more and more and more people with a much more diverse range of disabilities, which is great. It's great for the people involved, for the boys and the girls and the men and women involved, because it gives them a greater understanding of other people's disabilities, not just their own. I think it also gives them a greater awareness of their own disability, which sounds like a bad thing, but is actually a good thing, because the more they sort of understand what they can and can't do, and what they find hard and what they find easy, the better it is to be able to give them the support that is actually necessary for them as an individual, rather than just sort of general support that is often offered to people with disabilities. You can tailor it to their particular needs. But the team itself has just grown. They've become a much more cohesive social unit. We have discos here, barbecues, people have their birthday parties here, and so the social side of their life has developed as well as just the footballing side, and it's given them a greater understanding of getting on with other people of massively different backgrounds, different ages, different cultural backgrounds. So it's been a wonderful experience, not just for the people, but also I think for the parents and for the carers that are coming. It's been a real eye-opener in many ways. So it's one of the best decisions I ever made, was to bring my son here to see what it was like.
So how did you start then? How did you become involved? I believe your mum is a founding member, is she, of the Bobi League?
Oh God, no! She's involved with everything. No, I've played for this club for about 10 years now, I think, and I was involved with coaching as I was younger. I was involved in coaching some of the under-12 mainstream team, and quite enjoyed it. And I went off to uni doing coaching theory and stuff like this. And I got asked while I was away if I would like to get involved in helping a disability team. And I was a bit nervous, because as an 18-year-old and I hadn't had any experience of anybody with any disabilities whatsoever, I was a bit nervous, but it only took one session for me to get a bit hooked, and so I've been doing it since then. And then I got my mum involved, and then all the other coaches come, and then once they come they don't go, so
Sounds absolutely
it's
brilliant.
cool, it's cool.
Yeah.
So keep doing this.
How have you seen the players become involved and develop over the years?
Oh, it's brilliant. We've got players now that are now in our men's team that when we first started were tiny and too young to be playing in the league, and it was a lot of them. It was having to explain. If we lined up a line of cones, it was explaining you have to dribble the ball in and out, and having to explain what that was, and then why the goal was at the end. And now some of the football, some of the different types of skills they're coming out with, some of the possession play they're actually doing in the matches is unbelievable to see those exact same players come through, and rather than booting the ball off in a different direction, they're complete playing just amazing football.
And how does that impact on this about social development?
Social development's massive. Here it's just so nice to arrive early. They all arrive about half an hour early for a training session, and they all have their chin wags, and getting them out on the pitch is something else. But and they all stick around afterwards. But they all see each other outside of football now because they're all friends. They're all we do a lot of discos and stuff for them. We've done trips to Wembley for them. They'll tell us what we want, what they want.
So is it maybe fair to say they become like a family?
Absolutely, and very much a part of the club as well. I think every single person in this football club knows about the casuals and what we're about, and are more than willing to. I think we've got a couple of them that have been a couple of our players that have been involved on a match day. The first team match days will be helping with the stewarding and being the ball boys and stuff like this. So it's cool to get. They're all well and truly involved in the whole club. So it's not just the casuals; it's everyone.
So you have a lot of supporting volunteers as well. How important is that to the club?
Yeah, well, we're all volunteers. But I mean, so you've got us coaches that go out on the pitch and run it, but we definitely wouldn't be without the volunteer parents also. That when we come in, we can sit down and go. But you know what? We come in and there's already drinks, there's fruit, there's biscuits out on the tables, there's valuables being looked after. There's if anybody's had a knock and had to come in, we know that they're looked after. Couldn't do it without them. They're brilliant, especially on a match day as well when it's absolutely chaotic. It's brilliant to have everybody helping.
Good. And how do you all enjoy playing?
Really
Do you
good.
enjoy
Yeah,
it?
good. Wicked. Yeah.
What sort of Is it a good fun on a 10?
Yeah,
Or a good
yeah,
10?
yeah.
It's better when we're beating other players.
Yeah.
Because we're a good squad, but we'd like more people to come along.
Yeah.
We're kind of losing more girls, and we want more girls to come.
Of course.
Well,
All right. Well, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you,
Yeah.
girls.
Thank you.